The film opens with a brutal sparring session. The main character, Bayan, a former Muay Thai champion, is now a fugitive accused of murdering his beloved wife and only child. With his life destroyed, Bayan is now driven by a single mission to find and punish the mastermind behind the tragedy that shattered his world. We then shift to a busy market where we're introduced to Sang Kang, a local gang leader collecting protection money from his underlings. After wrapping up, Sang Kang makes a phone call, but to his surprise, the one who answers is Bayan himself, demanding to know why Sang Kang killed his family. Sang Kang calmly invites Bayan to his hideout, promising answers. But it's a setup. His men are already waiting, ready to take Bayan out. Unfortunately for them, Bayan's fighting skills are second to none. Using deadly Muay Thai strikes, he single-handedly takes down Sang Kang and his gang. Bayan interrogates Sang Kang, demanding the truth behind the murder of his wife and child. Pressured, Sang Kang confesses he was only following orders from a chauffeur, someone who regularly picks up the daughter of a powerful businessman named Ying Hao. With this new lead, Bayan leaves to prepare his next move. The next day, Bayan arrives at a school. Soon Eng, Ying Ha's daughter, exits the building accompanied by her bodyguard, Zhang Wu. As Ting approaches the car, Bayan accidentally bumps into her, a calculated move to plant a tracking device. He quickly apologizes and walks away. Back home, Ting is greeted by her stepmother, Lu Ping, who asks her to change clothes. Meanwhile, we finally meet Ying Ha, a wealthy and powerful businessman. During a private discussion, Lu Ping informs him that the police found drugs in one of the company's shipping containers. What they don't know is that Bayan is listening through the tracker he placed in Ting's bag. Ying Hao suspects an insider is collaborating with drug traffickers, using his company's logistics network for distribution. Just then, Ting arrives for dinner. But instead of eating together, her father scolds her after receiving a report from school that she was in a fight. Tired and frustrated, Ting finally snaps. She lashes out at her father for always prioritizing business over family, never noticing how she's constantly bullied at school. She also reminds him of his broken promise to take her to the temple today to visit her late mother's grave. Struck by guilt, Ying Hao tells Lu Ping that tomorrow he'll finally take Ting to the cemetery. Elsewhere, Bayan, having learned about Ying Ha's upcoming trip, begins planning his ambush. Meanwhile, we're introduced to another key player, Tai Yong, a high-ranking cartel boss and Sang Kang's superior. Furious that his drug shipments were seized by the police thanks to Bayan's report, Tai Yong orders his men to eliminate Sang Kang and his entire crew. The next day, Ying Hao, now showing more affection to his daughter, prepares to return to his hometown. Before leaving, he entrusts Lu Ping with the company. As the convoy begins its journey, Bayan is already waiting along the route. But suddenly, the signal from his tracker stops. Turns out Ying Ha's convoy is ambushed not by Bayan, but by Tai Yong and his men. A violent fight breaks out. Despite their efforts, Zhong Wu and his team are outnumbered. Ying Hao is captured. Sensing that something is wrong, Bayan rushes to the scene and joins the brawl. But during the chaos, he sees young Ting being attacked. And instead of pursuing Ying Hao, he chooses to save her and escape. The story continues as Ying Hao is brought to a man named Clay, the real kingpin behind the city's drug cartel and Tai Yong's superior. Clay reveals his plan. He wants Ying Hao to partner with him, using his company's shipping business to smuggle drugs. But Ying Hao flat out refuses, even if it means death. He despises everything Clay stands for. So Clay changes tactics. He orders his men to kidnap Ting, hoping to force Ying Ha's cooperation. Meanwhile, Ting is now hiding with Bayan, terrified, after realizing he's the fugitive accused of killing his own family. But Bayan tells her it was actually her father who orchestrated the murders. He explains that Bayan's wife worked for Ying Ha's company for 8 years. She discovered that Ying Ha was secretly running drug operations. She gathered evidence, and for that, she and their child were eliminated to protect the company's image. But Ting doesn't believe him. Furious Bei kicks her out. Elsewhere, Zhong Wu, who survived the earlier ambush, contacts Lu Ping, informing her that both Ying Hao and Ting have been kidnapped. He also requests CCTV footage from the school to identify Bayan. Later, Ting, now on her own, uses a public phone to call Lu Ping and begs to be rescued. Lu Ping warns her not to trust anyone and tells her to stay put until help arrives. Soon, a police car pulls up. Ting runs to it for help, but once inside, the officer reveals himself as a criminal in disguise. Luckily, Bayan had been following Ting and arrived just in time to save her. Now convinced that both Zhong Wu and Lu Ping might be involved in something bigger, Ting decides to trust Bayan. She asks him to help find her father and uncover the truth about whether Ying Hao is really the man behind Bayan's family's death. Meanwhile, Zhong Wu arrives at the scene, but Ting is gone. He discovers the fake officer has been shot. He immediately contacts Lu Ping to report what just happened. The next day, Ting brings Bayan to the head office of her father's logistics company, hoping to find clues. Sure enough, she overhears a suspicious phone call. The head of logistics appears to be secretly working with a former employee who was previously fired by Ying Hao for smuggling drugs. Without wasting time, they set off to find this ex-employee. Let's call him John, who's now hiding in a notorious drug haven known for its danger and violence. Ting decides to enter the slum alone, carrying a tracker with her, while Byron waits nearby, monitoring the situation from inside the car. Once inside, Ting manages to find John and asks about her father's whereabouts. John, however, secretly calls Taeyong, informing him that he's found Ying Ha's daughter. John then explains to Ting that they're now up against a powerful drug cartel, and the real mastermind is none other than Clay, John's current boss and the top cartel leader in the city. For the past 3 years, Clay has been smuggling drugs using Ying's shipping company. Suddenly, John orders his men to capture Ting so she can be brought to Clay. Luckily, Byron, who's been listening in through the tracker, springs into action. He storms in and takes down John's men in a fierce fight. Even John gets a taste of Byron's fury as he's beaten until he reveals Clay's location. With the info secured, Byron and Ting flee on a motorcycle, but the escape doesn't come easily. John's entire crew gives chase, triggering a high-octane pursuit through the slums. They're eventually cornered and outnumbered. Just when things look bleak, one of Taeyong's elite assassins, a ruthless woman wielding a glowing battle axe, suddenly arrives and slaughters John's entire gang without mercy. Her arrival strikes fear into everyone. The female assassin confronts them, and a brutal one-on-one battle begins. Armed with her deadly axe, she manages to severely wound Bayan, but just when it seems like it's over, Bayan turns the tide. Summoning every last bit of strength, he unleashes a barrage of Muay Thai strikes, knocking her out cold. Now in bad shape, Bayan is rushed by Ting to a small private clinic. She politely, yet firmly begs the doctor to help while also pointing a gun at him. Thankfully, the doctor complies and treats Byron with no resistance. Afterwards, they continue their journey, stopping at a roadside inn to rest. But unbeknownst to them, the inn is owned by one of Clay's trusted informants. The receptionist immediately recognizes Ting as Ying Ha's daughter and discreetly alerts his superior. Later that night, as Bayan and Ting settle into their room, a group of unwelcome guests arrives, ready to fight. Despite still recovering from his wounds, Bayan once again finds himself forced into battle. He fights valiantly, pushing himself to his limits. Even after defeating his attackers, Bayan isn't in the clear yet. A special guest, someone seeking revenge for an earlier defeat, steps into the room. Tired, battered, and out of breath, Bayan is quickly overwhelmed. Just when it seems all hope is lost, Zhong Wu suddenly arrives and saves Bayan right before he collapses into unconsciousness. Bayan is then taken to Tung Wu's hidden safe house, where Ting is also brought to recover. But peace doesn't last long. Lu Ping, along with her men, manages to track them down and arrives at the hideout. Claiming to check on Ting's condition, Ting takes this chance to confront Lu Ping, insisting that there's a traitor within the company responsible for the drug smuggling, the true cause of everything. But in a shocking twist, one of Lu Ping's own men turns on her. He attacks the group, captures Ting, and declares that she's to be handed over to Clay. Tang Wu nearly gets killed in the ambush, but Bayan, now back on his feet, steps in just in time to save him. We now return to Ying Ha, who still stubbornly refuses to cooperate with Clay, no matter the threats. But Clay plays his final card, Ting, who has now been captured. As a father who loves his only daughter more than anything, Ying Hao reluctantly agrees to meet with Clay to sign the agreement. But just as the deal is about to go through, the long-awaited moment arrives. Tai Long storms in, ready to execute his grand plan to eliminate Clay and take over the cartel as its new leader. Something he's been secretly plotting all along. Unfortunately for him, things don't go as planned. Outside the building, Bayan and Zhong Wu arrive, guns blazing. They launch a full frontal assault on the cartel's headquarters, mowing down Tai Long's men one by one in a brutal shooting. With the situation under control, Zhong Wu tells Bayan to go inside where Taeyong is waiting. Bayan demands that Ying Hao be handed over, but Taeyong refuses. The next round begins. Still weakened from previous battles, Bayan struggles and is ultimately overpowered by Taeyong. It's here that Taeyong finally confesses everything. It was his plan all along. From smuggling drugs through the company to ordering the murder of Bayan's family. Fueled by rage, Bayan rises once more, and throws himself into the fight. But just as Taeyong is about to finish him off, Zhongwoo returns and saves Bayan at the last second. Unfortunately, Dongwoo pays the price, receiving a brutal blow that knocks him out cold. Now left alone again, Bayan faces Taeyong in one final battle, and in the name of justice, vengeance, and sheer willpower, Bayan triumphs. The cartel's reign ends here. After the dust settles, Yinghe thanks Bayan for saving both him and his daughter. He humbly apologizes for the tragedy that tore Bayan's family apart. Ting, overwhelmed with emotion, hugs Bayan and thanks him for risking his life to protect her. But it's not over yet. Bayan goes to confront Lu Ping, now revealed as the true mastermind behind everything. He realizes the only time Ting's location was compromised was when she called Lu Ping, meaning the fake police officer must have been her informant, and her act of getting captured had been staged all along. But what she didn't know was that Bayan saw it happen. The truth is finally revealed. Bayan's wife was murdered because she refused a bribe from Lu Ping, and in response, Lu Ping ordered Taeyong to eliminate her and their child. With calm fury, Bayan gives Lu Ping 1 minute to apologize to Yinghe before the entire building goes up in flames. Cornered and defeated, Lu Ping admits her crimes directly to Yinghe, not knowing that Bayan has been recording the entire confession. It was all a setup, a trap. With solid proof in hand, Lu Ping is arrested and justice is finally served.